Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple invoice app using .NET MAUI. Let's start by creating a new .NET MAUI app project in Visual Studio. Once it's ready, we'll organize the structure and build our form step by step. First, create a new folder called Models. Inside it, add two classes, Order and OrderDetail. The order class represents the entire invoice. It has an order ID, a customer name, and a list of order detail items. Each order detail includes an item name, price, quantity, and a computed total. The order detail class implements INotifyPropertyChanged. This interface allows our app to automatically update the UI whenever a property value changes. For example, when we change the price or quantity of an item, the total amount updates right away on the screen without needing to refresh anything manually. This makes the data in our invoice always stay in sync with what the user sees. We use these classes to help us manage the data and bind it to the UI easily. Alright, now let's work on the layout. Open MainPage.xaml so we can start designing the invoice form. We start with a scroll view so the page can scroll if there's too much content. Inside it, we use a vertical stack layout to place our controls in a vertical order. We'll add two text fields, one for the order ID and one for the customer name. Below that, we'll add a bordered section that lets the user enter new items. We use a border control with rounded corners and a light stroke to make it stand out from the rest of the layout. The background color changes automatically based on the app theme, white in light mode and dark gray in dark mode. Inside the border, we use a vertical stack layout with a label that says Add Item. Below the label, there's a grid with 4 columns. The first column is wider to fit the item name, and the next 2 columns are smaller for the price and quantity. The last column holds the Add button. When the user fills in these fields and taps the Add button, it triggers the Add button click method in the code behind, which adds the new item to the invoice list. Underneath, we have a grid-like layout that displays the list of items. Each row shows the item name, price, quantity, total, and a delete button. Here, we define two rows, one with auto hide and one that fills the rest of the space. In the first row, we create a grid with 5 columns. The first column is flexible and the other 4 have a fixed width of 50. This makes our header align perfectly with the data below. Next, we add a collection view to display all the items in our invoice. The selection mode is set to none because we don't need to select rows, we only display data. We also set the layout to vertical list so each item appears in a vertical list format. Inside the collection view, we define an item template. This tells the app how each item should look. Each item is defined by a data template inside a grid with 5 columns, one for the item name, price, quantity, total, and a small remove button in the last column. The remove button calls the remove item clicked method when pressed, and the command parameter passes the current item to that method, so we know exactly which one to remove. In short, this collection view works like a lightweight data grid, showing each invoice item in a clean, simple layout that updates automatically when items are added or removed. At the bottom, we add 2 buttons, one to print the invoice and another to clear all items. On the right side, we show the grand total, which updates in real time. Now let's open the code behind file for main page. We start by creating an observable collection called items. This collection stores all the order details and connects directly to the collection view. Whenever we add, remove, or change an item, the UI updates automatically. The update grand total method calculates the total sum of all items and updates the label on screen. The clear all clicked method simply asks for confirmation and clears the entire list if the user agrees. In the remove item clicked method, we first check if the sender is a button and if that button has a valid command parameter. The command parameter gives us the specific order detail item that was clicked. Once we have that item, we remove it from the items collection. Before removing it, we also unsubscribe from the property changed event to make sure we're not listening to changes on an item that no longer exists in the list. After removing the item, we call update grand total, which recalculates the overall total and updates the display. The item property change method listens for changes to an item's properties, specifically the price or quantity. Whenever one of those values changes, we call the update grand total method again, so the total on the screen always stays accurate and up to date. In the add button clicked method, we read the input values, check if they're valid, then create a new order detail object and add it to the list. After that, we clear the input fields and recalculate the total. And that's it. We now have a fully functional invoice form in .NET MAUI that lets us add, remove, and calculate totals dynamically. In the next video, I'll show you how to print or export this invoice as a PDF file. We use the string format method to format numbers as currency. The $sign adds a money symbol. N2 means 2 decimal places. You can change the $sign to any symbol you like. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.